Think of Joseph. He would have mellowed in the house of Potiphar and began to enjoy the pleasures of sin at the expense of his glorious destiny. But there he was, kept in the prison for the number of years he was there. And imagine the leader that he became. He sent a man before them, even Joseph. He became the pillar of rescue for a generation of Israel. Leadership in all ages has always emerged from the altar of sacrifice. You never get out of life more than what you are willing to put into it. The reason why it's difficult to walk in the footsteps of giants is because every step of a giant is a long jump for a toddler. Every step of a giant is a long jump for a toddler. But you have to do the jump if you must get there. Think of Nehemiah. He took his life in his hand and there confronted the king. Why are you sad? In those days when you are sad, you are dead, because the authorities then don't have no intelligence. So anytime you pose to frown, they see you as getting into rebellion against the king, and you are killed. And the king now said to Nehemiah, why are you sad? And Nehemiah pointed to him, I perceive, why should I not be sad when the place of my father's sepulchre is burnt down, and the walls are broken down? You did it. That means kill me if you want. Nehemiah became the leader that he was from the altar of sacrifice. He was willing to die than to what the humiliation continued. Is someone hearing what I'm talking about? Think of David. He went for Goliath. Everybody gave him up to die. But he came back to reign. Sacrifice. Think of Esther. If I perish, I perish. That's how she earned her place in history. If I perish, I perish. Sacrifice was behind the making of Esther. Where it is. What is sacrifice? Going the extra mile in a cause you believe in. Making an extraordinary investment towards a goal you are vowed to reach. Daniel became the great through the crucible of sacrifice. You don't talk to God for 3 days, pray only to the king. He opened his windows. Let me die the death of the righteous. And brought a spiritual hurricane to the land. The king said, anyone who will not serve the God of Daniel should be put to death. Routed all the devils and gave him his place in history. All this point to the fact that the quality of your sacrifice will determine the quality of your leadership rating in your field. Check it. We had in my country a legal practitioner of great renown. This man represented the legal practice as a personality, an institution. In fact, they will call him in their parlance Timmy the Law. Now, you'll never find him in a function. From the chambers to the house to the library, from the library, his library to the court, in cycle. You can't make the top of the list in your field without paying the top of the price to get there. Nelson Mandela, one of the greatest names in Africa, in the political arena, or clearly the greatest name, was 27 years incarcerated. Yet he never lost his grip of the redemption of the South African nation. Got it. He's the most respected African today in the political arena on the planet Earth. He paid a 27-year price for it, of incarceration. Very ugly experiences, if you read his story. I think it's important for us to know that there is no free lunch in life. You can't eat your cake and still have it. You cannot make omelets without breaking eggs. If you're interested in value, then be ready for the price. Because value is essentially a function of cost. There are many cars in the car shops. How much you are willing to pay will determine the value of car you are willing to carry out. Think of Martin Luther, for instance. Martin Luther King Jr. He fought and fought and fought until he paid the ultimate price of death. But see the result of that sacrifice. Barack Obama is president of the United States of America today. It was a battle he won in death. Today there is Martin Luther King Jr. Day in America. Oh, he had the cup of wisdom. At the age of 15, he was in the university. At the age of 19, he was in seminary. He was loaded. The cup was there, but the sacrifice went with it. He went through all kinds of stress in ensuring that emancipation. Today it is done. Who could have imagined that the black American will ever emerge president of the United States? But we have all seen it. Martin Luther in the 14th century fought the battle for the Reformation and won it. Wrote 98 theses, the cup of wisdom. How many? 98 theses that was pasted in the church. And that erupted some certain things in the setting. And that birthed the Protestant movement, of which we are all beneficiaries today. Sacrifice. The ones who founded the healing movement went to jail several times for practicing medicine without license. You remember this story? Now you pray easily for the sick anywhere, and then everybody's clapping and they're sharing testimonies. Leadership in every field demands sacrifice as its ultimate prize. Those that top the list pay the utmost price. Everyone that tops the list in any field pays the ultimate price. And that is the price of sacrifice. That is the price of sacrifice. The altar of sacrifice is broken down in many, many lives. It has to be repaired. When the word of the Lord came to the king Asa, the Bible said he repaired the altar of the Lord that was broken down. And then the covenant was reenacted. Until the altar of sacrifice is repaired, the covenant of leadership cannot be actualized. It's so important. It is going the extra mile that makes the extraordinary man. It's so vital. It's paying the extraordinary price that makes the extraordinary man. It's so crucial. You never find anyone topping the list in any field who wanders about on the streets. There are men and women who are purpose-driven and addicted to reaching their goal, that nothing seems to interest them. The good news today is that you don't have to be in politics to be a leader. Just discover your field and walk your field with all you've got, and the leader in you will emerge. And walk your field with all you've got, and the leader in you will emerge. Sacrifice is the key to stardom. We had one time an NBA basketball player, who happened to be a Nigerian. He was then in the US. And then he had a challenge one of the seasons. They discovered he had limitations of getting the basket at a particular range. So he was fast losing his place because they kept him outside that range. So he would not get the basket anymore. So the break between one season and the other, he engaged a coach that put him on a 500 throws per day. How many? 500 throws per day within the range of his problem. 500 throws. 500? Under the drilling of a coach. He must make 500 from that range per day. Not true. 500 he must make. And he did that for about 6 months. What's that? Sacrifice. You pay the coach, he stretches you to get the basket. That's the only way to retain your place in the league. 500 times per day. So by the next season, the star in him has come alive. So all those who thought he still had that problem messed up. That was the year that his star shined most. It's paying a special price that will give you your special place in your field. Come and say, pay the special price. When you are willing to pay the special price, you will attain to your special place in your field. There's a man many years ago by the name Jonathan Edwards. Jonathan Edwards was a great ministry, and this man read and read that his eyeballs almost came out. Jonathan Edwards wasn't just a preacher. He writes what he will teach. He reads it. He reads his teachings. And he did one particular teaching that is titled "A Sinner in the Hand of an Angry God." While reading that thesis to the congregation, people were wailing and holding their chairs as if the earth will open and turn into hell. There was so much force in the reading of his discoveries by reason of the depth he was coming from. He was reading the extra page to open to the next phase of his life. There is nothing you get without paying the required price for it.